quite honestly, Jenna, it could be 6 or 7 degrees.
Oh my God.
60 or 70.
I love that. I feel like you like that more than the kids right now. Every time there's
Now,
like a chance that Todd can say 6, 7, he takes that chance. 6,
Jenna,
7?
the kids annoyed me. My kids annoyed me with that for so long, and now I'm giving it right back to them.
See, but I feel like this is the same as YOLO. Like when I was a kid, all the kids said YOLO, and then the adults started saying YOLO, and it was like, I'm never saying that again.
Good. That's good. We'll head this thing off.
I don't even know what 6, 7 means. At least YOLO.
Nobody
meant
knows what
something.
it is.
You only live once. YOLO.
I never heard of that. This is the first I've ever heard of YOLO.
Really?
Yeah, you
I thought
only
that was
live
like
once.
widespread. Yeah, so like that was the YOLO. You know, if your friends were like, "Let's go to Sonic," you say YOLO because you know why not go to Sonic?
Okay. We didn't do back
6,
in my
7.
day.
I don't know what that means. What was it? Gnarly back in your day?
Yeah, but that gnarly. Even Joel uses the word gnarly talking about storms sometimes.
Yeah, that's like a normal word now.
It is. It's in the normal dictionary. Gnarly. I'm trying to think what we would use for sure. That was back in the 80s. Gag me with a credit card and put me on layaway. She doesn't know.
What?
That was in the 1980s. Valley
What does
Girl.
that mean?
I don't know. I just remember it from the 80s. That was like the word. That was the phrase in the 1980s.
Okay.
For sure.
People say for sure still.
Yeah, but the way it was said in the 1980s, it was. You know what Valley Girl is?
Yeah.
Okay, that was back in the 80s. But I'm trying to think what else we did. It seems like a lot of the phrases we used were you can trace back to like Saturday Night Live skits.
That's fair.
Like, isn't that special?
Yeah, but that's
Church
how like
lady?
a meme starts too. Like still nowadays, like
Does
something
it?
has to start from something.
Yeah, who
Night
starts these
Lives,
things?
TikTok.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it was Vine starting the things. That was like the beginning of TikTok, but it was only like 3 seconds or 6 seconds or something of a video.
I remember Vines. Is that what morphed into TikTok?
Vine died, and then TikTok came out like years later. There were like maybe 4 or 5 years between the two.
Okay.
Sad. Vine was
See,
a lot of fun
I'm
when I
learning.
was a kid.
People are asking, oh, Billy Cannon. It's 82 degrees in Costa Rica where he is.
I want to be in Costa Rica. Man, Billy's got it nice.
Yeah, Billy.
We're jealous, Billy.
There's no yaks in Costa Rica.
There's
Are
a
there?
beach, though.
There's a beach. Trying to see if anybody else has anything to say about my. I guess not. Okay, so do you want? Go ahead. Talk about what you got up there because we need to talk about weather at some
Hold this
point.
up because you were talking about those reds that everyone shares, and to
Right.
give you an idea of what kind of map we're talking about when we're talking about that. So this is a temperature outlook for December, January, February, and it shows us actually in that white gray, so that's near normal. And to understand this map, as you were saying before we got off track.
We never do that here.
Never, not at all. The reds, the oranges, you have to know the data before you can fully interpret this map, because this doesn't just mean it's going to be super cold for those in the north central, northwest parts of the country, and it's going to be super hot in the southwest and parts of the southeast and the northeast. That just means above normal for each of those places. So the above normal temperatures that you're going to experience, say, in Georgia, very different than above normal temperatures in New York. So that's how this map is interpreted. It's not interpreted as we're going to see a heat wave move through the Northeast.
I saw a map, and it was from a very well-known meteorologist that had, I'm talking about very well-known in a certain portion of the country, that had temperature anomalies. And it said that it was colder and was showing temperature anomalies. It was colder in the Great Lakes than it was above the Arctic Circle, and they were temperature anomalies. Like what you're... That's not true.
That's not an air temperature. That's
not.
temperature anomaly.
Those are temperature anomalies. So what we're saying, if you ever see something like it's colder in the Great Lakes than it is at the North Pole, now look at the map, because it could be well above average. What they're saying is it's more above average in the North Pole, and it's below average, way below average, more below average than it is above average. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
like
you
it
are
could
to
be,
me.
like,
As scientists, like that's how we take in these numbers,
Right.
because climatologically you have to understand, the difference between weather and climate. Weather is what's happening today, tomorrow, etc. Climate's over a period of time.
Bingo.
So to understand our averages, you have to understand what it is over that period of time, which is why that climate data is so important when you're interpreting things like anomalies, because we wouldn't know what an anomaly is
Without the past.
without averages. And the past, all of our data, all of our records,
Well,
which...
When they say it's 20 degrees below average in the Great Lakes, and then they say it's 30 degrees above average in the Arctic, I can promise you it's still colder in the Arctic because it's so their average is so much lower. So those are the things you've got to keep in mind when you see all these maps being thrown around social media. Here, I love this. Thank you, Jenna. So
like at negative 23 right now in Thompson, Canada.
Hold on. I think if you hit play. Hold on a second.
I want to go back to the Arctic.
We're going to. Eventually. There we go. Okay, so there you have...
I didn't know you could do that without clicking into the scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what I think it is?
The North Pole?
72 degrees below zero.
Oh, that's not what I thought we were looking at. That's
Do you see that?
Eureka, Canada.
That's
72 degrees
70.
below?
That's
These
what
are
it feels
air
like.
temperature-
No, these are.
This
It's
is
wind chill.
feels like. No, understood.
Okay,
so
so
this is what mammals feel
right.
out
So
there.
72 degrees below zero. So there's a lot. And then you look at Western Canada, the wind chill, the air temperatures are also very cold. And a lot of times what we say is, well, there's not even any cold air in Canada to tap into. So, of course, it's going to be above average. And I'd be sold on that. But you got to watch for little pieces of that to break off, because the little adjustments in the pattern can completely flip a forecast.
Exactly. And you hear those buzzwords all the time once we get to winter, things that have just become popularized, like polar vortex. And,
Right.
That's a thing that's always happening in the polar regions, but...
Been there
think of it
forever.
like a spinning top. The moment that top kind of starts to slow down or like wobble a little bit, it moves to one side or another. With that, you have surging air that comes with that spinning top. It's not just keeping everything in like a... I'm out of analogies. Fence?
A boundary of some sort. But I've never heard of it referred to as a spinning top, but that makes complete sense. That's a good way of putting it. It goes, that cold air is going to go where that top is, and it's spinning. The polar vortex is spinning. Uh-oh. Bob Clausen. How are you doing? I love Bob.
He said swell. For anyone that want to know, he's doing swell.
He's doing great. Bob is a good guy.
All right.
He means well.
We love Bob.
We all love Bob. Anyway, so
We should talk about tomorrow's rain.
yeah, there's one more thing I'm going to show here in just a second. But again, the odds are very high that we're going to have above average temperatures, and it'll be mild compared to the time of year we're in. So remember that. It will be mild for the time of year we're in. If we had these temperatures in May, it would be cold for the time of year we're in. Okay?
Well, let me find, because we have averages somewhere.
Well, there's high temperature guidance right there, and that's showing right where we were saying they're going to be in the 60s to near 70. Well, it's not typing. Jenna's going to find something. So in the meantime, while she's finding for a graphic.
It's not typing at all for me. All right. It's
I'm
in my
going to.
show, so I'm going to find it.
Okay.
But I'm trying to find the averages. I think we have yearly averages in Little Rock in a graphic that I don't know what category I put it into.
Well.
Oh, found it.
I've never seen that. Very good.
I don't know. It was in our system before I got here.
I've never seen that.
But
yeah. Okay. So again, everything is relative to average. And so you see December there in that purple. The end of the at the right side says it's right around 50. So if we're going to say it's 15 degrees above average, 65. That's not warm. It's mild.
Mild. Yeah.
I would call warm
mild
75 or higher.
I agree.
Yeah. Oh.
Anything that you don't need a jacket on hand, I guess, is...
Now, how do we punch up? I'm going to punch up our weather. Not that.
What are you trying to punch up?
That. All right.
All right.
Hold on. Let me get to a different screen first, so we don't put that on there. All right. I'm going to show you some computer models that I look at. All right. So weatherbell.com is a fantastic site that we subscribe to for modeling data. And what you see there on the screen, Those are the computer models and other features for real-time analysis, short-term forecasts, ensembles. But look at how many there are, okay? So I can go in there, and each one of those is not just one model. They're products. There's so many products to just one model for all these different layers of the atmosphere. Bob is trying to use a mirror to shine a light at us. Did you see that? I'm blind.
Ow!
Bob. He's trying to blind us with that mirror.
We saw that.
Anyway, so
The people saw that.
yes, they saw a flash. So anyway, you can cherry pick data all day long. But what I wanted to show you, there are a couple things, and I'm going to geek out as to why I have questions. Teleconnections, all right? This is the European. Let me go to the AI. There we go. So this is the Eastern Pacific Oscillation. This is the first teleconnection that I look at when I'm trying to do long-range forecasting. The baseline is 0, okay? This goes throughout time from now all the way through the 31st of the month. And so when it's above 0, which you see it is, that's usually milder air. That means that you have a trough near Alaska. That is what floods the United States with Pacific air. When it goes into its negative phase, that will mean ridging in Alaska and into the western portions of Canada. So if you have a dip into the negative, and that is a stout dip into the negative, next Wednesday, next Thursday, and next Friday, that usually means cold air is about to plunge south. So why is that not reflected in the models? Now that's the AI. Let's go to the AI ensemble. And it has it as well, not as pronounced, but it has that dip. So I'm still trying to figure out, because now let's go to the AI ensemble. We'll go to the northern hemispheric view, go to 500 millibar anomalies. You see that red paint bomb almost right there, just to the west of Alaska. That's not in a good position for us to get cold air, because it needs to be further east, and you have this trough hanging back. By the way, you see the United States down here, Africa, Asia over here, but Alaska's right here, and it's west of Alaska, and you got a trough here. So what you're doing is you're pulling Pacific air all throughout the country. But let's go into next week, because this is what baffles me. Why is it doing this? And somebody out there could hopefully enlighten me. If the EPO goes negative, then why do we have troughing in Alaska?
It's a great question.
That's what I don't understand, and why I'm like,
because they're not lining up, even though
it
they're
doesn't
even
line
the
up.
same model.
I don't think they can both. I think I'm not quite understanding what the models are trying to do here, because it can't be a negative EPO and have that
trough.
with troughing over Alaska. You would expect to see more ridging in Alaska, which would mean what happens to this ridge here. That you see the ridge over the United States. That's why everybody's predicting milder temperatures. But what I'm looking at is, why is the EPO negative and there's troughing in Alaska, which is what I cannot understand.
That's definitely something to watch for in the
Yes.
data, because that hints at, the data is trying to pick up on something. Maybe not everything is picking up on that. But in long-range forecasting, we look for kind of those red flags to start popping up. Like, oh, this is saying this. Does this say this? Or how many more models will start to show a similar idea? And that's how we get a better idea of what's going to go on in the long range. Because it can't just be we cherry pick, let's say, this one model, and we decide we like this run, so we're going to go with this for the next 10 days. That's not how forecasting goes. We got to start seeing more models, more areas of the Euro, or more runs of the Euro, more runs of the GFS and other long-range models, kind of give us an idea of what's going to go on long range. So it's very interesting that this is even the same model, but it's contradicting itself.
It's contradicting itself. Now, what happens, though, because this is an ensemble, and so it's trying to find where the troughs are. And what happens if the trough is more back in here, or the trough is further back towards the southwest, and that allows this ridge to hook up over here with this ridge that's over, what is that, Scandinavia? What happens if there's a weakness here and these actually connect? That would drill Arctic air south, wouldn't it?
It should.
So that's why
that would be the scenario.
And I know there's meteorologists out there that are way smarter than I am that could probably answer these questions as to why it's doing that. But then let's look at the operational run of the Euro AI, and there it is. It's still there, but you see it has more of the ridging in Alaska, which. And I understand this trough here because it's like an omega block here, right?
Yeah.
But if you had ridging, wouldn't that send a piece of something further down into here, into the central and eastern United States?
I would think. But I guess the time frame that we're looking at, this is Christmas, the day that we're looking at on this map. I mean, could it not possibly be in the days after Christmas then?
Maybe after Christmas. Okay, and let me show you one other thing that I've been looking at. And again, I'm very sorry because this is all I'm geeking out, and I hope y'all understand when I geek out. I love doing this type of stuff. So now we're gonna. Oh, wait a second.
Oh, you're at JFK.
Oh, it's John F. Kennedy. Oh,
yeah, you were like,
I was
what?
like, oh my gosh, this has changed. So let's go to
New York. We were looking at the airport in New York, so
There.
the temperatures were much colder than we've been talking about.
So let's go to 2 meter. Okay, so here are all the ensembles. Each one of these, from the bottom to the top, those are 50 ensemble members on the Euro AI. And their temperatures for a specific time period going from left to right. Well, you see they're all grouped right now together showing cold, milder temperatures on Thursday. And then there's Friday. All of them are agreeing it's going to be colder on Friday. And then another little mild period. And then another cold batch of air comes in for the beginning of next week. And then all of these are signaling warm. You see these, they're all warmer temperatures. There's several members that are not warm.
Yeah, there are.
And then you go and they're all grouped warm here, cold here. Once you get past the 27th, there's a lot of the ensembles that are showing colder temperatures coming back. So this is what this is seeing here. All these ensemble members are seeing the warmer air or the milder air for Christmas time right there. But there's a lot of colder members in that too, which makes me think maybe not quite as warm as what everybody's thinking.
Yeah, there definitely could be change afoot because, I know that maybe you guys at home looking at this map are like, what are you guys showing us? But like as Todd just explained, you have, starting from the left side of the screen, everything is kind of in agreement. You have a bunch of boxes in blue.
It's because we're right there.
You have a bunch of boxes in yellow. And that means they're agreeing. It's closer in range, but they're agreeing.
The further out you go, there's less agreement.
Exactly. But it's all over the place the further out you go. And that's usually how it is. I mean, if you wanted to cherry pick a hurricane probably sometime in January in the GFS, I'm sure there's going to be a point that the GFS pops that out at hour 3:50.
Right. And look, I could cherry pick this model, this ensemble member 28 that shows temperatures, in the 70s to near 80 degrees. I could cherry pick that 1 out of 50 and put that on social media and it will go viral. 1 out of 50.
It would go viral. That's the hard part.
I know. And that's what we fight against. It's like, whoa, you're cherry picking data. And there's so much data out there.
There is so much data. There's more data than this. We're just showing you one model's ensembles. Like this is just the Euro AI's ensembles.
Right.
There are hundreds of other models with this many numbers, more numbers, less numbers, all depending on how long range, short range, medium range that model is. The amount of data that we comb through to make our forecasts, it's huge. We could make it much bigger if we wanted to, but
and sometimes when you dig so much into the data, your eyes glaze over it. And I always say, at that point, just go look out the window.
Go touch grass, as the kids would say. Go outside and touch grass.
It's like this is anyway. But you see us also at the bottom of the screen that shows the temperature forecast. The blue line, I believe, is the control. So that's like the operational run, but the blue line. The green line is the ensemble mean. You see that it rises next week, and the highest potential ensemble is right around 70 degrees. You see these lines going.
Those are big error bars.
Those are big error bars. So it could be as cold. What they're saying is there are some members of the ensemble on Christmas Day that show it being near 32 degrees. One ensemble must show 32 degrees, but another ensemble member shows it's going to be 73 degrees.
Yeah, so that little box in the middle, that the box and whiskers plot, everyone, the mean, kind of the agreement is within that box. So that's maybe 60s. But that shows there's a super large margin of error. And so since this is day 9 that we're talking about, and I know everyone is asking every meteorologist they know what is the forecast for Christmas. That's just that's what we get. We're used to that. We're meteorologists. We get friends that ask us, hey, I'm getting married in April. What's the forecast on April 19th this year? Dude, if I knew that, I would be paid like millions of dollars.
That's when I say, I just go to climatology and I say, well, it's April. There's probably going to be some clouds. Probably going to be a chance for rain and thunderstorms.
Yeah, here's the average. Exactly. So. Exactly. But all we're saying is there's definitely room for this to change. It's not a perfect forecast, even though we're saying the 60s right now. That doesn't mean lock it in. we'll continue to watch what happens with this very wide range numbers.
Yeah, and Jen was right earlier when she said that, maybe that colder air, that dip in the EPO is real, and that colder air doesn't come until a little bit later on.
Yeah, maybe something stalls it. But that information won't, today is December 16th. If we're talking about something happening at the end of December, we have plenty of time.
Oh, yeah, and so much, this is going to this is going to change so much. I wish that I could go back and look at other runs of it and see, you see how vastly it changes.
This could be different tomorrow. This could look like an entirely different map. So that's just the data that we're dealing with. But
have I geeked out enough?
Well, I feel like that's a normal part of being a meteorologist.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit. But we have 2 minutes, so before we go, I do want to talk about the rain for next week. Or not next week, Thursday of this week. And into tomorrow, we've got some small rain chances popping up here and there. Tonight, we could see a few showers move in, especially in parts of southern Arkansas. Not out of the question for central Arkansas to see a shower. This is the graph, so this is our in-house short-range model, short to medium range.
It's a good model.
It is. And so we have a warm front lifting over us tonight into tomorrow that'll bring more shower chances. More shower chances, of course, to southern Arkansas rather than central Arkansas into tomorrow. And then we continue to see few more showers tomorrow, even in central Arkansas, even into northern Arkansas tomorrow night. And then tomorrow, we've got a cold front that'll move in, bringing us chances for showers, maybe a stray thunderstorm. We're not expecting severe weather, but temperatures will drop and skies will clear behind this front too. So let's say that you're in northwest Arkansas, you're seeing that's going to be cloudy tomorrow. You could see clearing as soon as noon per this model. So it may start mostly cloudy, but once that cold front passes, you're going to see clearing skies. Temperatures then drop Thursday night into Friday morning. But before then, we've just got showers and storms ahead of that cold front to talk about for Thursday. But then we clear out for Friday, and Saturday looks like a great day.
Yeah, and a little cooler on Sunday behind another front.
Yeah.
But not cold, just cooler.
Yeah, it's like 50s.
Right. A lot of people ask me how I make snow. Too Twisted for TV will cover that this week. That'll be at 7 o'clock and at 7 o'clock Thursday and Friday, just to let you know.
Perfect. So tune into that, and
Twisted for TV.
Have the full forecast for you at 4, 5, and 6 on KRK, and 5:30, 6:30, and 9 on Fox 16, 10 o'clock on KRK as well. We'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in.
See you later.